Yo, welcome back to another Real Talk Reaction. This one right here is for New Girl, Season 3, Episode number 11. Do not forget to like and subscribe because you haven't, so keep doing it. Thank you.
Alright, a couple comments from the last episode, starting with executive producer JoJo, who says, as far as what was wrong with Jess, I assume it's from either the fish or the raspberries she found. As far as what they said in the hospital, Giardia is an intestinal parasite, which would make sense. Legionnaire's disease is a lung infection that happens when there is stagnant water in certain conditions, but no way she was that sick. It's called Legionnaire's disease because it was discovered when a bunch of dudes in the American Foreign Legion died from it after a convention in the 70s where the hotel had stagnant water on the roof. This information is brought to you by Years of Falling Asleep to Forensic Files. Sorry, that cracked me up. I love it. Years of Falling Asleep to Forensic Files.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that was my show right there.
Yes, I agree this is a slow patch for the show, and the Coach and Cece thing is a bit awkward. This season has a couple of episodes, arcs like this that don't totally click with me. There are some bangers in there, and keep an eye on the friendship of Winston and Cece. They are the duo you never knew you needed. Thanks, JoJo, and thanks for the insight, too. Then we have executive producer Jamal say, I agree with JoJo 100%. This season has some meh character arcs, but also some episodes that are highlights of the entire series. The writers definitely have a lot on their plates trying to balance all the characters and storylines, especially with Coach back in the mix. And sometimes, like in this episode, it doesn't quite work. When they find their footing, though, it really hits. Fun fact, during a reunion panel in 2020, some of the New Girls cast members talked about how when Damon Wayans Jr. returned as coach, they all started getting pretty ridiculous questions from the media about whether Coach's return meant Winston would have to leave. Literally, because having two black leads on a sitcom was so rare, and the impression was that Coach would have to replace Winston in some way. Jake Johnson, who plays Nick, actually said they were utter dog shit questions and utter dog shit to then ask, can you both be on the show? You can absolutely. You don't just need one black guy, you can have a bunch of them on a show.
Yeah.
I bring this up because the first two lines of this episode are actually a reference to and a shot at those questions. Coach walks into the kitchen and in a serious voice says, Nick, we need to talk. And without missing a beat, Nick responds, Winston stays, end of discussion. Then Coach clarifies he was actually referring to the Thanksgiving invite. I just thought this was a cool meta way for the writers to take a jab at the annoying questions they were getting in real life with a funny, quick exchange on the show itself. I love that so much.
Yeah,
Thanks for sharing, Jamal.
Yeah,
great insight.
Yeah.
I love that.
I mean, I was scared about that too because, you know, we've been trained. That's how TV works. And so, yeah, I was like, maybe Winston's going to have to leave then. I ain't say it out loud, but I'm just like, that's normally how TV works. And so I'm glad to see they both get to stay.
Yeah. So great comments as always. Let's jump into the next episode right now.
A rainy day, like a scotch tasting, guys.
It's not raining today. Hasn't rained in months.
It's not raining all night.
There's actually a huge forest fire. Dude, you should turn on the news.
This is a 15-year-old French oak preserve.
A note of cedar wood.
Cece, just stop slamming the glass, though. All right, that was episode 11 of New Girl, and I thought this was an interesting episode right here. It gave some insight, some backstory on everybody there. Wow, quirky and comedy. I mean, comedic it was. It was still very funny. I mean, my actual joke was the little kid that she thought was her first one. I thought that was hilariously done, the way the gang does it. And they're getting better at the rambling with all of them together. They were already really good at it in the beginning, like the first one, but you know, you added another dynamic in there, and now Cece's around a lot more too. So I think, like you guys said, once they do get their footing, I think they're gonna be just firing on all cylinders right there because the recipe is there, right? The ingredients are all ready to go. The writers know what they're doing, so I think, like you guys said, they just gotta like figure out what we're gonna do with all these people, right? And they just started right there, giving Cece something else to do as a bartender. That should work out to be some kind of funny, right? Because you can do a lot of things with that dynamic right there with her and Nick at the bar. And Winston is just getting better and better for me. He is just 100% in the pocket, him. all day long. Coach, they need to find something for him to do to like get him in his thing, because right now they're presenting it to us as if we always been there with Coach with the throwbacks, and they talking about what he used to do. We never seen none of that. So they'll figure that out to give him something to do. And Schmidt, I just want him to get out of this hole of being sad about CC. Either they gonna do it or don't do it. Let's just move on with it so we can all get back into the funniness of the hijinks. And let's do that, right? Because we got a gang that can just go anywhere and do shit. It ain't like Sunny Gang where they just gonna be all types of wrong. This is just all types of funny right here that they can just get into when they talking shit. And so I like it. So I had a lot of fun with this episode. Very interesting, bottle type episode. And I hope we get a whole bunch more of this and more. So can't wait to see another show.
Yeah, I thought this episode totally worked. I thought it was a great utilization of the 22 minutes that we have, or 21 minutes that the show is, as far as being able to take a bottle type episode, but with the flashbacks and every character getting its their own story to tell, which I think is a feat to be able to smush into 21 minutes. You got to be really tight and concise with your writing, and I feel like the show pulled that off. The one comment I was going to say that you mentioned briefly is in reference to Coach. I think everybody else that has been here since the beginning, we've had, 3 seasons to flesh out their characters and really stabilize their characters. And I think Coach seems like the exact same person in the one episode he was in, because he hasn't had 3 seasons to fully flesh out. So I think his character is the one that's going to require the most work as far as stabilizing, so that then everything feels like it's grounded, because he is still, I love his character obviously, but I feel like it's almost like a punch in the face sometimes, because it's like he's just abrasive almost with them trying to establish his character, that it's all up in your face. But I did like, the stopwatch joke. I thought that was hilarious, as far as him not watching a movie, him timing the movie. I thought that was really hilarious. But I do think like they've got to ground his character the most, because he missed out on 3 full seasons of character development. But no, I thought it was really great. I like the struggle of Jess trying to figure out what she wants to do. I loved seeing how everybody got to the decisions of what their career paths was. I absolutely loved that Cece came in with a minute left in the episode and had the most impact from an emotional standpoint. It was super sweet that Jess was her first teacher, and that's how they became friends. Loved it. And again, quick writing, but still had the emotional impact. Again, speaks to how well the writers handle the short amount of time each episode has. But I thought that worked really well. And then I also thought adding in, the emotional bit with Nick having actually taken the bar, and that was a surprise, and that wasn't something I was expecting either. So all in all, just really, even seeing Schmidt, go back and try to sell trees again, I thought was super cute too. Yeah. And my one gripe, I guess, of the episode, and it's so just petty, but I wanted to see Winston's moment of quitting his job. You can't say all this and then we don't get to experience it. I totally want to see how he went a bit racist and then sexual or whatever the case is. But I thought that was a great part of his writing and his character development, that up until that point he doesn't feel he's made a lot of the decisions in his life. Yeah. And the fact that he didn't get any playtime was hilarious. I don't know if that was ever expressed before. I thought he was a baller, he had the basketball hoop in the apartment for a while too, but they made it seem like he was straight trash, which is crazy. He never did nothing. Oh my goodness. And the getting traded to the court on the field. So stupid, but hilarious. So all in all, definitely a level up from the last episode, and very entertaining, and I had a lot of fun with this one.
All right, well look, thank you guys again for watching another Real Talk reaction for New Girl Season 3, episode number 11, and until next time, peace.